Calling the CARICOM community, assembling global Africa, the 4th edition of the Afri-Caribbean Trade Investment Forum. Active 2025 is coming to St. George, Grenada, this 28th to 29th July. Join government and business leaders, investors, and trade and finance institutions to explore the theme, resilience and transformation, enhancing Africa-Caribbean economic cooperation in an era of global uncertainty. Be there as we stand together to strengthen our commercial ties, to promote shared trade and investment opportunities, and unlock prosperity for Africa, the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. The 4th Afri-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum. Reserve your place now at active2025.com.
Hi, I want $10 on Playway, $20 backup on Pick 3, and cash for each, please.
Okay, are you adding multi-X to your bet?
Yes, multi-X, all of them.
Smart! Best value bet. Backup and multi-X, you cannot go wrong.
Don't matter the bet, multi-X all of the daily games.
With multi-X added, your winnings can be multiplied 3 times, 5 times, even 7 times. So make it a rule. Add multi-X to all your Playway, daily pick 3, and daily cash for bets every day and for every drop, and watch your money grow. Available at stores and online.
You heard it here. Multiply your winnings daily. Must be 18 or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
Yeah. Ride along live. Welcome to the ride. Welcome to Wednesday on the ride. Yes. Guys, today we're going to have a conversation. You know what's pissing me off? It's usually a program that we air on a Tuesday, right? But we had to break off yesterday because we had an exclusive interview, a conversation that only could have happened yesterday because the gentleman in question, he was only available yesterday. So we had to change around things a bit, but still, we have to give you an opportunity to ventilate, to pour out whatever is inside, right? So we decided to do it today. But no difference, same talk, same conversation. Well, today's a little more interesting.
Hi, I want $10 on Playway, $20 backup on Pick 3, and cash for each, please.
Okay, are you adding multi-X to your bet?
Yes.
Calling the CARICOM community, assembling global Africa, the 4th edition of the Afri-Caribbean Trade Investment Forum. Active 2025 is coming to St. George, Grenada, this 28th to 29th July.
All right, sorry about that. My mixing board just cut off, so I apologize. You guys lost audio there for a quick bit. All right. Hey Sherry, how you doing? Big up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. At followers, everybody. At followers, give everyone an opportunity to be a part of the conversation today. But before I bring on my 2 guests, I want to tell you guys something. I want to tell you guys something that you probably already know. You probably already know this, so it's just me saying something that you'll be like, yeah, that's facts, bars. Believe it or not, guys, there are a lot of people that are very, very malicious and envious of your success, or not even your success, just your life, just the way how you live, just the way how you are, just the natural thing about you. There are people that sometimes you see them, they see you, you talk to them, they talk to you, they greet you, they smile with you, but they're very envious of you or your lifestyle or what you have worked hard to obtain in your life, right? And you gotta be careful of these people because they are the most dangerous. Now, I prefer enemies, you know. I tell you why. You see someone that you know that don't like you, you expect them not to do anything, positive for you or help you in any way. You expect them when you see them or when they see you, they go show you a screw face. They go turn up their face, they go squeeze up their eye, they go twist up their nose, all kind of thing, yeah? But you already know that. It's like, yeah, so what? I know you don't like me. I prefer them. Not the people that you see, you shake hands with, they say, hey, bro, what's up? Congratulations, boy. What? I like what you're doing. You're doing big things, boy. Let me tell you something. I talk to my friends and everybody, boy, they love what. But let me tell you, boy, they go support you and me and them go come out and this, that. I want discount. They give you a whole rap sheet, Jed. And behind your back, these same set of people are the ones that are determined to break you. They don't like you. They want to crush you. Be careful. Look out for them the most. Not your enemies. Look out for them. The fakers. Yeah, the fakers. Let me tell you something, Jed. The fakers, you have to be very careful and skeptical. You have to watch your back. Because you might turn your back to them. You might be walking at some point in time, and at some point you might turn your back to them because you feel, or they make you feel like you could trust them. So you might turn your back to them and have a conversation. Those are the ones that will stab you in the back the hardest. And they're hitting you the hardest. They're stabbing you the hardest. Watch out for them. They're no good. Thompson Kodo, how you doing? Be careful of them. Be careful of them. Be very careful of them. That's all I'll say. Another thing I want to say very, very quickly before I bring on my next guest. Now, last weekend, we released our packages for Monday Night Mass because Ride this year is doing Monday Night Mass. It's been 10 years since we've been doing this, but we're doing it a little bit differently, right? Because, we always like to do things a little bit differently at Ridealong, right? So this year we're going on the water. We're going to be on the water, sailing on the water. Now, we put out the price of the packages, and you guys saw the packages. Packages are moving real fast. If you guys didn't see it, then go on the website. There are ample links where you can check out all the different styles and stuff that we come with. So you're there, right? Now, the price may not be in everyone's range, and I understand that. I understand that some people might think that it's too pricey, right? I understand. And I have no problem with you saying that. That's fine. I have no problem with you saying you're not going to play with this with us because it's too pricey. You're going to go there. That is your option, your free will. You're free to do that, right? But why are you making it or trying to make it an issue? If you can afford it, there are many, many people that are affording it, that could afford it. So because you can afford it, that doesn't mean the countless amount of people who are purchasing their packages and happy to purchase the package and even saying, probably leaving a tip during checkout because they're so happy and they're so delighted, they're excited. Leave them. They know what they're paying for. They're paying for quality. They're paying for quality, right? So if it's not in your price range, it's not in your price range. That's why they have Toyota, they have Beamers, they have all sorts of different vehicles. They even have the Primus or the Primus or whatever, right? But it's not like a Cadillac. It's different range. Different people could afford it, some people can't. So if you can't afford it, that's fine. But don't sit there and criticize the thing. You can't afford it, you can't afford it. It's not the cheapest package. It's probably the most expensive package. We're only going to sell 300 packages. Well, all the other bands have 1,500 people. We're only selling 300 packages. That's it. So, I wanted to say that because some of the folks stay in my inbox. They call me all kind of thing. They say it's me who caught Jesus slippers. All kind of thing they're calling me. Brethren, If you can't afford the thing, you can't afford the thing. All right? Don't push up like you could go in, like you want to be in the VIP, but you can't afford the VIP. If you could afford the VIP, go in the VIP and don't complain. All right? Don't complain. Otherwise, leave it alone or purchase the thing and hush him out. Anyway, it's not about me today. It's about these fellas here. Ian Django Thomas and Kem Jones. Fellas. Hold on, let me turn down my music. Fellas, what go?
I'm good.
Kem, Kem, they want to come in VIP, but some don't have VIP money. Is it my fault?
Well, Junior, give them some time. 'Cause, to be honest, over time, Grenadians tend to fall in line. So give them some time. It's still early yet. Right? And there is this petty bourgeois kind of envy taking place. In other words, the competition is kind of ripe among a kind of small group. If you can't afford to go in VIP, just don't go.
That's what I'm saying.
Go in the ordinary. I would go to events, Junior. And sometimes I'm telling you, I'm just being real. Sometimes, while I could afford to go in the VIP section,
right,
I just go in the ordinary section and enjoy it the most.
Yes.
So if you can't make it to VIP, just go in the ordinary section and you're good to go. Don't make no big fuss. I know jealous people are vexed with people who in VIP. Whoever could afford VIP, go in VIP. I know Ian could afford VIP and he will be there. Nothing is wrong. He will still take a drink from the VIP and bring a little thing for me every now and then. So I ain't missing nothing.
Watch, you spoke like a bicycle tire. You spoke like a bicycle tire there, boy. What?
Tonight are different, you know.
Yeah, you put on the glasses. You put on the glasses, boy. Yeah, I want to say hi to Lydia James. Lydia James is on YouTube, and she had to be on YouTube because there was some incident that happened that's preventing her to be on Facebook. And I'm so sorry, Sister Lydia. I know how it would feel, like you can't comment, but this is your favorite program. So she had to go on YouTube and comment on YouTube. Lydia, listen, I don't know what else I have to do. Next, I got to probably go and talk to Mark Zuckerberg personally. I don't know. But Lydia, we thank you. Happy to have you on board with us. You're the mayor of Ridealong. So Lydia, we love you so much. So Django, how you feeling? How you doing?
I did, man. I did just watching the vibes and listening to what's going on and hoping to participate in the discourse this evening.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about, We have a lot to talk about. And I will start at an unexpected start. I don't even know how I will go there, but I will go there. So, this weekend, I was able to watch an interview with Laco. And Laco, let me tell you, I sat and I watched the interview and I thought it was a good interview. I still want to say big up to the Bob Report, Kel and Bob. I thought it was well put together. I thought it was a good interview. The audio in the back, in the ending part, kind of messed up a bit, but nevertheless, we got the message. But I watched on Facebook and I saw Django made a post, and Django said, "Laco don't want me to talk, Laco better don't want me talking." So, wait. Ian Django Thomas have things and know things that we don't know. Maybe Cam don't know. I don't know. What you guys thought of the interview with Laco over the weekend?
Well, the truth is, I didn't look at it. I didn't watch. I was not interested in the conversation because I knew it was going to be in the direction that I heard it was in. So I am not really interested in that conversation because, truth be told, it didn't put me out one way or the other because I expected that type of conversation. And that's my honest truth. Yeah, that's my honest truth. I expected that type of conversation.
When you say that type of conversation, what do you mean?
Searching for sympathy, make it look as if I'm holier than thou. I did not do anything wrong to be dismissed from the cabinet. I expect that. I expect that because the truth is I have some receipts, according to Cat Williams, that with the right timing and with probably I may have to consult with a legal team if it reaches to that, and then I would see exactly what has been happening. Well, at least what happened with me and other individuals that are very close to me. So if the gentleman wants to pretend that he has been a sin for the year and a half that he was part of the cabinet, tell him to be honest with the Grenadian people. Don't look for no sympathy here. Be truthful. You're a man of spirituality. You claim to be a Christian. Be honest with the people and stop playing the games and hiding behind books and Bibles and look for sympathy. I have no sympathy to give. Cross that. I have no sympathy to give.
What? Kem, what's your thought? What you thought of the LACO exclusive? I thought I would have gotten the exclusive, but neither here nor there. What's your thought, Kem?
Well, I never took the time to listen.
Oh.
No, I never did. And even if I knew he was going to be on, I would not have, spend my time listening in. But as I have always said, I wish the young man all the best. I can't say anything bad about him. All I would say is I have seen plenty political parties rise. Winty had a political party. I am still waiting to walk on that bridge to go to Carriacou. Mark Bonney had a political party. Derek Seeley had a political party. Glennis Roberts had a political party. And, having a political party is not a biggie. It doesn't mean that people are going to gravitate or support you. The gentleman must know that Grenadians still love someone who is manly and tough, not one who would go out in the public and cry like a little baby, looking for somebody to come and nuss him. He has to know that Grenadians are, we come from a background of toughness, So I wish him all the best. That, to me, died on already. This interview was when?
Saturday.
Oh, Saturday?
Sunday. Yeah.
It is Wednesday, and people are not talking about that. So, not surprising.
I see. No, I know we spoke about political parties, and I know we're going to get to the real issue that we're here to speak about. We have enough time to speak about that. But we know we're speaking about political parties, third party. And we have LACO, we have Peter David, we have another one, Change Hope. I mean, a lot of parties coming up, right? What do you think is the fate? What do you think would be the fate of those extra or additional parties? Ian, do you think that we are ready to welcome or any other second or third political party would get any strength in this political landscape?
Yes, there would be room for a third party. There would be room for other ideas, because Grenada might become, by the time the next general elections, they may just be a handful of people that may decide that they wouldn't support the mainstream political parties, although that number would be in the minority. Probably a handful, probably a couple hundred. But what is important to note, a third party can emerge here and survive. They would squeeze out the new national party once they do it correctly. Because NNP is dwindling and the supporters would need to gravitate to something new. So if the parties that are preparing to get involved in the next general election, if they use any sort of wisdom, they would consolidate, probably try to find some common ground to work, build a collective philosophy where each and every one of them would be able to ascribe to, work together, try to build something, and prepare for election 2023 thereabout. Yeah, this next election is not for competition because the National Democratic Congress is going to win outright. There's no if, buts, or maybe, or perhaps in that happening. And I've seen that 2 years prior to the next general elections, because the guys are on stream to do exceptionally well at the polls. Yes, the team has performed. They are united. They're committed to continuing to develop this country. And we wouldn't have another party putting up the numbers that the NSC is going to get in the national election. So all NNP, PNP, the movement, all Change Hope, all of them had to come together in a corner and try to consolidate, find some common philosophy, whether it be enhancing the lives of the poor or transforming the lives of the rich, find some common ground to work together on, and hope the people take them serious for the following election, not this one. Yeah, that's the only way they could. Yeah, they won't be able to perform. They're fragmenting the numbers here, and NDC supporters are not going anywhere.
Kem, what's your honest to God take and feeling about that?
Well, look, third parties will find it very difficult to survive in this climate, in this political environment, especially in small island states. The question you have to ask yourself, where would they get the money from? Selling chip and coconut bakes and fried chicken by the side of the road will not get you the kind of money you need to compete, to really make your mark in a general election. You're talking about the technology that needs to be used to get people to follow you, to be attracted to you, to want to vote for you. You have to pay for that. The jersey, the stage, the buses, I mean, we can go on and on and on. The money you have to spend. No one with cash, with real cash, going to pump that kind of money into something like the movement with Peter David. It's not going to happen. Venezuela has serious problems. He can't run down to Caracas and get anything. You have Laco. I mean, Laco is and anybody else. So you have two main political parties, and I can tell you, the NNP will find it very difficult also to get cash because people don't see them as viable. You look at the candidates and all that kind of stuff. They're not likable. They're not winnable. They're not viable. They're not the majority of them, right? It's like a dying breed, a dying party. It's like Uncle Gary Party, GULP. When he died in 1997, somewhere thereabout, is buried in the center cemetery. Third parties will never survive in that kind of environment. One or two people going to leave the NNP, gravitate towards maybe the movement or whoever else, right? But generally speaking, there might be one or two disgruntled NDC too. But it's never enough to make a serious impact in a general election. And especially with a government that's performing well, with a party that's doing well. You have a leader who is loved, who is, viable, likable, winnable, attractive to the voter. The team, they're united, as Django said, working for the people. They have done a lot in the last 3 years. And you're not dealing with a polarized leader like Keith Mitchell, who likes his bacchanal, confusion, everything is a tibia melee, some kind of confrontation with the unions, with workers directly, with business leaders, with anybody, with the church, with anybody. We always had that kind of melee and bacchanal. You're dealing with a stable party. People are more willing to give to the NDC, give to the National Democratic Congress, and the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, because they see the future. They see a team of visionary people moving Grenada forward. So I don't see any room for third parties. They would start something, but they're not going to go anywhere.
Interesting. And I was thinking about it, and I just talk about viability because it's important before a party start to understand your viability. Like, what's your path to victory, right? And for that sake, while listening to Laco, I'm like, okay, anyone is open to start a new political party. Laco is free to do so. But what's his path to victory? Because he lost in that same constituency against Dr. Mitchell. So obviously, if he start a political party, and he try to contest in that particular district, he may not win. And for starters, right? So what's his path? What's his possible idea? Where is he going with it? What's his long-term idea?
Junior, remember, without cutting you, remember, Laco ran on the NDC ticket.
Yeah.
The NDC supporters not going to vote for Lacret even if he runs in St. George Northwest. And if one want to be conservative, they might say, okay, 1% or 0.5% may support him. But generally speaking, he's not a likable person in that constituency to say that he can get the NDC support, get this personal support, and then take some from NNP and then ride to victory. Same thing with Peter David. Peter David ran on the NNP ticket. Don't believe that NNP supporters at this stage will go and vote for Peter David, or else they'll be following him now in the movement. They've had a number of activities and all kind of stuff. They would be with him already. So there are NNP supporters who left and they're gone with him. Don't expect more will come and go with him. And don't even bother about the NDC supporters who had to go with him, left with him in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
You can even go further than that, 2013, when, he moved to the NNP and that kind of thing. So it's not that you're going to get new people. And then you made a very good statement. What really are they offering new? What is their plans and programs, and what direction will they be going? Is LACO party a party, a green party, for example, about climate change and sustainable this and sustainable that? What is his party about? Is it about caring for just the poor, or caring for the rich, or pro-business, or what? Because it's like you going in the store and buy a posy or a party because you're not feeling too well and you believe you might get diarrhea or shittings, and you believe you can't walk from here to get to the restroom, so you buy one and you call it a party, and it's a posy or a party. That is what it comes across. It's easy. Anybody could start a party or buy a party or start something. It's easy if you believe that you get diarrhea. But let's see.
Yeah. And Ian, we heard from Laco in the conversation that he's at the point where, he's put together a committee about raising funds and I guess raising funds to become viable in the process. And he also made a statement saying that if not this election, possibly next election, to develop that repertoire of that voting bloc that he could, bring in ultimately. So he's probably not even looking to be viable right now. He's probably not even thinking about wanting to be prime minister now, but just to get his foot wet, possibly.
But this isn't making much sense, because remember, his foot was already in the water. So he walked out of the water to apply to walk back into the water. That didn't make no sense. But I must speak directly to the individuals that might be financing, that he claims is going to be financing this operation. Watch all your money.
Oh, gosh.
No, I ain't joking, brother.
Let me disclaimer this.
Yeah, put your disclaimer.
The views expressed on this program is that of Ian Django Thomas and not necessarily that of Ridealong Live. Django.
Yeah, I'm speaking directly to the financiers of the organization. And I'm saying it again. Watch your money. Pay very close attention to your money. Yes? And I'm saying it again. Pay very close attention to your money. And I'm not saying that because I want to throw shade or rain on anybody's parade. I have the receipts, as I said. Pay very close attention to your money.
Okay. I think, Django, I got to have an exclusive interview with you one day, boy.
I could do as the lady with the makeup and thing and start to call names and claim that I have facts, But the difference with me, I have the facts.
Okay.
I have the facts.
Okay.
I have the facts.
All right. Let's move on. I want to get to this, right? But before we even go there, I want you guys to watch this video and give me a reaction to it. Local video here. Look at this video right here. Look.
Yeah, so this is the condition of the Mongrambi Community Center. So nobody can use it, and that's how it's been for a very long time. Yeah, the Mongrambi Community Center.
I saw that video, and the comments on this thing was hilarious. Kim, you from St. John's, the Mongrambi Community Center. What's going on there, Kim?
Well, there is construction taking place there, you know. I remember with financing from the Chinese and the government of Grenada, they are doing work there. In fact, if you go inside of that community center, you'd realize that the roof, some work was done on the roof, the interior already. Even if you look carefully, you can see the windows, work was done on the windows, the framing, and so on. So, look, I wanted to ask if this guy was still around some months ago, because I haven't seen him in quite a while. I don't know if he wants to pattern after Nimrod Oliver, but he's not learning. Because if you realize, under all Nimrod Oliver's posts, it's a similar thing. Because Grenadians learn these people. Dabrio was there for, what, 2 terms?
10 years.
Yeah, almost 10 years as a member of parliament for St. John. This guy should be ashamed of himself to go and stand in front of a community center that he should have either retrofit or rebuild, because he had enough time to rebuild if there was a need for that. He should not even be talking about the community center, but maybe the community center, a playing field, maybe a public library or something up there that he was instrumental in building. I could tell you about St. John. Dabrio has not done anything that I can point to in St. John in his 10 years. It's sad because this guy is making himself look really bad. I just was among about 14 or 15 young people just before I came on the program. And what they were laughing at is Dabrio and the comments. I mean, people really lace the guy. But it says a lot. That's the NNP. It's not just Dabrio. That's the NNP. They're good at criticizing, condemning, pinpointing anything that they believe is bad. They highlighting that. But why he's not talking about the good things that are happening? Look at St. John, the amount of communities that were lit in St. John. Solar lights left, right, and center. Why not talk about the roads and the bridges and the drains and the housing projects and the things that are happening in St. John? But he's not going to do that. No, because they believe by being negative, by being nasty, by spreading these kinds of information, they would play on their base, their supporters, and 1 or 2 unsuspecting voters may just follow them because they tried the same thing in 2008 to 2013 and they were successful. So they're trying it again. Same playbook.
So you're saying that this particular community center outlined there was looking like this during the time when Dabrio was the MP of St. John?
Yeah, the outside. But there's work happening on that community center as we speak. Because, you see, he did not go inside. I think Sawandi has a good photo on his page, right? Sawandi Sam, I don't know if you could pull it up.
Let me see.
Yeah, and he's actually showing the inside of the community center. I think it's painted in its prime in white. So work already started on that community center. You know, the interior. And then all that needs to happen is for windows to be placed on it, doors to be placed on it, and maybe they could put some trowel on or paint it. But I do know that the Chinese were instrumental. There was a ceremony, in fact, starting off that particular community center project.
Right.
So you should be able to see. Are you seeing that on?
Yeah, I think I saw. Yeah, I saw this.
Right.
Oh, so that's inside.
Interior. And as you can see, they did the priming of that interior of the inside of the community center. They did over the windows and also the doors, and quite a bit on that community center already.
Oh, I see.
So it's just the outside, and because it's in a kind of located in a mountainous area, so to speak, like Granby, Cloger, Florida, you would find the outside of concrete buildings looking like that kind of quickly, even if you paint them, right? So even at the back, you see the roof was done over, the doors, you see the frame, work has started there. But if you're acquainted with the kind of interior of Grenada, because of the moisture and so on, the outside tend to look like that kind of quickly. Work is happening on that particular community center. So Dabrio is disingenuous. He's not a sincere person. And the same thing with Nimrod Oliver when it comes to highlighting certain things and making people believe that that's the case. But when you dive deeper, you realize that what the story they're telling is far from the truth. In fact, if the truth sees Nimrod Oliver and Dabrio, Alvin Dabrio, the truth will never recognize them. They're strangers of the truth.
Yeah. I was concerned about it because I haven't seen it. I look at the comments, and the comments was not friendly to my brother Dabrio. The comments wasn't friendly at all.
Sam is also saying they had to do work on the roof. They had to repair the roof because wood ants actually was in the roof. So they did a kind of complete roof work.
Yeah. But why would he go and showcase something and knowing fully well that he was in an opportune position to do something about it and nothing was done, and he still went and highlighted it? So people obviously gonna start talking about it. Like someone sent this to me. I'd never seen it before. I thought that it deteriorated just within the last 3 years. That was my thought.
I know you crack up reading the comments because
the comments were hilarious. No, the comments was hilarious. So I said we definitely need to touch on this because I didn't understand it. I wouldn't bring something to light when I know it makes me look bad at the end of the day. Obviously, that's what happened there. So no, it played into a better context for me. Now, the third thing I want to shift gears into, Kim, is yesterday we had this conversation with the supervisor of election, Mr. Arthur Peer. And the conversation, I'm going to line up a clip. I didn't get a chance to put it together because I ran here and I was running late. Arthur Peer is the supervisor and has been the supervisor of election for the past, 9 months or a little bit over a year?
No, close to a year.
Close to a year. And I contacted my dear brother to add clarity because I got a lot of calls because people was confused on the voting, the registration process for voting. So he came on to add that clarity. Kim, I know you got an opportunity to see it. What was your thoughts and what was your correction, because you called in as well, in terms of what was said yesterday on the program? Because you was pretty animated this morning on your program as well, speaking about it.
Well, look, Junior, during the day, I received calls from a senior judge. So that's the first person, a senior judge, and 3 lawyers. And they said to me they want to give me a doctorate in law because they were very impressed with my understanding of that law and how I simplify it. Because, as you rightly said, a lot of people were confused. But the law is in very simple language. There's nothing to be confused about it. And Arthur Pierre, who is the current supervisor of elections, came across as being incompetent, as lacking knowledge on the said law, and as though you took him off guard. Even if I want to believe you may have conversed with him, spoke with him before coming on set, but it came across as though he was ill-prepared. I listened to the previous supervisor of elections. I don't know if you have that clip. That's Elvis Morin, I think is his name.
Yes.
He did an interview on Kellen Bob.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have it.
I could find it. Keep talking.
Yeah, and it might, in fact, it might be on my page too that I posted.
Yeah.
And Elvis Morin hit the nail on the head. He explained this thing in very simple form. And that's when NDC was saying, hey, NNP is bringing people from overseas.
Right.
And he said, once you're a Grenadian and you are registered, you can come and vote once there is an election. No one could stop you. So maybe you could play what he said and I can continue to comment.
Right. Okay. So let me play that clip. And that clip again is courtesy Mr. Killen Bob, Dr. Killen Bob, the Bob Report on an interview that was held with the then Supervisor of Election, Elvis Moraine. Check out that clip.
Democratic Congress accused the ruling New National Party of essentially chartering flights from parts of the diaspora with voters, flights, a plane load of voters, if you will, to come to Grenada to vote. Now, talk to us about the voting rules for Grenadians who are resident abroad. Now, I know that the Electoral Act in Grenada stipulates who can vote, meaning you have to be constantly resident and domiciled in Grenada for a period of time. How are you ensuring or enforcing that particular stipulation to ensure that the people who are in fact voting are domiciled and resident in Grenada as they should be?
All right, good. So, Dr. Bob, the Act makes provision for a Grenadian. You can reside out of state for 5 years, all right? And after 5 years, of course, and I will speak to that process as well, where we have some challenges. So, a Grenadian who has been out of Grenada for above 5 years should be removed from the list, right? For the Commonwealth citizens is a year, okay? So just to address the issue that you raised earlier, for instance, someone can come, a Grenadian can come, right, at any time, you know, so the whole meter what person is about plane load of people coming. Any Grenadian from which part of the diaspora can choose to come back to Grenada to vote. Now, what you have to bear in mind is this. The first measure, you have to be duly registered, meaning that you must be on the voters list because you're a Grenadian. Now, you also have to, if you're not on the list, you can't be participating in the process. So if someone returned to Grenada, right, and especially if they hold a valid, let's suppose they may not be in Grenada for maybe the last few years, but of course they hold a valid, and in that case, well, maybe most of them, the ID might be expired, right? But at the same time, when you have that, you come in and you check the list and you make sure that you're on the list, you are due to register. It doesn't matter which part of the world that Grenadian is. Once you're on the list, you're entitled to participate in the process. To get on the list, you have to be here in person. So for example, no one can stay in the diaspora, wherever you are, and get registered, right? You have to be in person and you come in and of course you would bring your documents, basic documents in terms of the your birth certificate, official birth certificate, or a valid passport in this regard, or for persons who maybe attain the citizenship through and just have a certificate, it can be used as well. So that really is what the crux of the matter is. So you cannot deny anybody. Once that person is duly registered, it doesn't matter whether they just come from the plane or not, once they're duly registered. That's the most important fact.
Right. So you outlined there the most important fact, Kim. So what are you taking issues with?
Right. So I am saying that this gentleman is correct. The former supervisor of elections is correct. Otter Pay, however, last night caused a stir because in the law states how a person can go about registering, right, or the entitlement to registration. The law is very
person to vote.
Very clear.
Right.
Right? It states that subject to Section 7, a person shall be entitled to be registered as an elector or a voter in any one constituency if he, A, is a citizen of Grenada, or B, is a Commonwealth citizen who has resided in Grenada for a period of at least 12 months immediately before the date of his registration. So that's for a Commonwealth citizen. And then C, has attained the age of 18 years, and D, is ordinarily resident in that constituency. So the law says here, there are two types of citizens that we expect to register. A Grenadian, you have a right as a Grenadian to register to vote. but you must be 18 years and you must be ordinarily resident of a constituency, of that constituency. You need to be from that constituency. So I am from St. John. So I am ordinarily resident of St. John. That's where I have to get registered.
Right.
I am over 18, right? I am a Grenadian citizen. If I am a Commonwealth citizen, as the law says, I must be here in Grenada 12 months before I go to register. But when the guy spoke, he made the Grenadian citizens believe that they too must be here 12 months before they can register. And let me tell you this. In the last 2 to 3 weeks, we have had Grenadians, born and bred Grenadians, who went to get registered. Yes, they visit Grenada, they come to Grenada 3 and 4 times a year. They have residence here and so on. And they were told by some of the registration officers that they need to come back in 1 year time, in 12 months time. And then I discovered, based on the conversation you had yesterday or last evening with Autopay, then I realized where they were getting that kind of memo from, that kind of statement from, that kind of belief from. Not from the law, but this guy's opinion. And they were turned away, a lot of our people. But Autopay spoke about entitlement to registration, and he was fighting to find where the 6 months thing is for Grenadian citizens. You have to be here 6 months before and all kind of nonsense. But he couldn't find it. But instead, he moved to, and that's something that we need to clear up, he moved to the right to remain registered. That's a totally different thing. Where he spoke about the 5 years, and people must know that. That section 10 says, subject to section 7, a person registered as an elector pursuant to this part shall remain registered unless and until his name is deleted from the current list by the supervisor of elections, where the supervisor of elections determines that since the publication of the current list that the person has one or A, died. So if you die, they remove you.
Right.
B, left Grenada and has not been ordinarily resident in that constituency for a period exceeding 12 months, not being a citizen of Grenada. But remember, this is to remove you from the list.
Right.
You already register. And then it went on to say in C, cease to be, and that's the one I spoke about is for CARICOM, Commonwealth citizens.
Right.
And C, cease to be ordinarily resident in Grenada for a period exceeding 5 years, being a citizen of Grenada. But remember, that section speaks to the removal of a person on the list. Person already was registered.
Right.
And the sticking point, the issue at hand is registration, not removing people from the list. Yes, it could be for public information purposes. You can talk about that. But when you ask this gentleman, the supervisor of elections, about registration, entitlement to registration, and so on, he's such, and he end up in the right to remain, right to remain registered. And it confused everybody, right? So I am saying anybody who is a Grenadian citizen can get registered, and they cannot be turned away if you are a citizen of Grenada. You have your birth certificate, a valid birth certificate, and you're 18 years of age or older, and you have a resident, or you live in a constituency, or you have a property there, or you visit that constituency regularly with your, you can prove that this is where, like me, I can prove I was born, yes, I born in the General Hospital, but I live in Grand Roy. I have a property in Grand Roy. That's where I am from, St. John. Once you can prove that, no registration officer can turn you away. I have news to them too. There is this lady, right? Eugenia Clark. She visits Grenada sometimes twice or 3 times a year. She has a property here, right? She came from England and she went to the registration officer or the parliamentary elections office in Grenville to be registered.
Yeah.
And she went with everything, all that was required. When she got there, they do everything. And she left. Then she received a call from the registrar, the registering officer, or the registration officer, right? Saying, well, look, you can't be registered because you have to come back in 12 months' time. And she got angry. She said, I am a citizen. So she went back. She said, I'm a citizen of Grenada. I was born in Grenada. I have a property here. And you're telling me that I have to come back in 12 months. And then another good friend in South St. George, who lived at Woburn, went overseas, has his property at Woburn, purchased a property in Montrouge, came back, wanted to get, his stuff expired. So he wanted to get registered because, it's a new system from the time he left. So he went there to get registered, and then they told him, well, no, you can't get registered. You have to come back in 12 months, and then you don't live in Woburn, you live in Montrouge, sorry. And he said, well, but the people in Montrouge, they come here to get registered, right? And then you have in St. John, where my aunt, who's a known NNP activist, and nobody ain't telling me I know that. She's my aunt. She's a registration officer there, right? In St. John, there are a number of people who are reporting that there's objections made. They registered, but objections made. And you ask, but why? And all what is taking place in some of these constituencies, these people are just deciding to send back people and say to them, come back 12 months because of this same position that this guy took on your program.
But Kem, let's look at the law again, right? Let's look at the law again, because I don't know if I'm missing something. All right, let's look at this part A, right? Subject to Section 7, a person shall be entitled to be registered as an elector in any one constituency if he, meaning one, the person, is a citizen of Grenada.
That is self-explanatory.
Is a citizen of Grenada. Semicolon, or. I think the sticking point there is that or probably it should be Grenada, period.
No, because there's a full stop at the end. So it can't be. In other words, you can be orange or you can be apple.
Right.
Orange or apple. You cannot be both.
Right.
Right? In the law there is saying what comes first is citizen of Grenada.
Okay, so that's first. That's primary.
The first thing, as it says, A, is a citizen of Grenada. So once you are a citizen of Grenada, that's first and foremost. We are Commonwealth citizens, but that's after. We can't, in this law, we can't be both. To say, well, we're a Commonwealth citizen and we have to stay here, we have to be here for 12 months. No, I am first and foremost a Grenadian citizen, born Grenadian citizen. So no one can take that away from me. And I have a right under this law to be registered once I attain the age of 18, or if I'm older, 18 and above. And once I live in a constituency in the state of Grenada. And when I say live, meaning that I can have a property there, I can visit, I can be there. No one can take that away from me. But a Commonwealth citizen also has the right to register. Because I can leave here and go to Dominica, spend a year, and register there. In fact, that learned judge sent me a case that was filed in Barbados. Right?
Yeah, but that was a different one. I went over that case, I think. But that was to do with the CARICOM being a CARICOM citizen, not a
Commonwealth.
Commonwealth, sorry.
Right. So
That's
I
the
am
only
saying,
precedent I saw. That's the only precedent I saw.
so I am saying to you that that citizen took the chief electoral officer to court.
Yes.
To say, I am a Commonwealth citizen and I have a right to also register to vote in Barbados.
Yes.
And he won.
Yes.
So I am saying the Commonwealth citizen also has a right to register here in Grenada, but there is conditions. That Commonwealth citizen must be here 12 months before going to register, because that Commonwealth citizen has to prove that they were actually here 12 months ago. But if I'm a citizen of Grenada, I don't have to prove that I, Kem Kendon Jones, was here 12 months ago or 6 months ago. I'm a citizen of the state of Grenada. And that is why the thing is clear. Very, very clear. There is no explanation needed. Is a citizen of Grenada or is a Commonwealth citizen? And when you come to Commonwealth citizen, that is why in B, that is why I did not see Junior. In A, is a citizen of Grenada who has resided in Grenada for a period of at least 12 months immediately before the date of his registration.
Right.
You didn't see that in A. You see it in B. That's why you saw it in B.
Yes.
Because it was telling that Commonwealth citizen, you have to reside here in Grenada for at least 12 months before you can be registered.
Django, what's your take on interpretation on this?
Well, as Kem said, there's nothing to interpret, it's clear. But what is also important to note, a Grenadian citizen doesn't necessarily and only mean a born Grenadian. So we could have someone born in Iraq, get the citizen by investment, their certificate, they have an investment here, they become a citizen by naturalization. They too can participate in an election without being here 12 months prior. So you see, it is important for political parties to be able to understand and interpret this thing and comb the list as soon as they get a chance to make sure that they know their supporters and remember to remind them to be on the list. But being on the list is very critical.
Ian, and that is where the citizenship certificate comes in for that person.
It proves you're a Grenadian now.
Because you see, the request under Section 9, request to be registered, it speaks to that. That person will have to then present his citizenship certificate. And not just a valid passport or birth certificate. You see?
Prove your citizenship. Yeah. So our birth paper as Grenadian bonds, we present our birth paper to show that we are born here. The citizens that come in will have to present the certificate, but that is understood. So I don't see that as anything that should be confusing anybody, especially somebody that is holding the position of the supervisor. He should be the clearest on the interpretation of his job, because you can't be sitting in the chair and you're misleading the entire population in terms of interpretation. That should be your Bible.
But don't believe he's doing, in my humble belief and opinion, don't believe these things are happening by accident, you know.
No, by no means. Let me tell you what I observed too.
Carnival is coming up.
Exactly, in the month of June going into July.
Carnival is coming up.
So a lot of our brothers and sisters getting involved in the elections.
Of course. A lot of our brothers and sisters are coming back home. And they want to register. They want to participate in our electoral process. They have been here, back home, twice and 3 times for the year in some instances. And hearing that it may intimidate them and cause them not to do so. So we must reassure them that they can, right?
No, this morning I spoke with the PRO of the National Democratic Congress, and I asked him to clear that up as soon as possible.
Yes.
If you have to do a press conference together with 4 lawyers, whatever the case may be, ensure that your people understand what they're doing and they could come here and participate in our elections. We don't want no misinterpretation.
Also, people are now questioning the internet issues, because we have had in recent times a lot of complaints from people going to get registered, and every time they go, internet down, issues there, the system down, and people are now starting to question that. What has been causing that? And so consistently, because you see, when you open Pandora box, you cause people to think all kind of stuff now. With that kind of pronouncement that this guy made yesterday, is causing a lot of people to be uneasy. But I was telling you about Eugenia Clark because she's going back tomorrow to get registered. And as I indicated to her, I will accompany her. Right? Because I am not, you see, I said this morning on my program, the NDC has to become more there, quote unquote, for the people in terms of registration. That's why you lose or win an election. So if they refuse to register this woman tomorrow, right, as they did last week when they told her come back in 12 months' time, a born Grenadian with a Grenadian birth certificate, right, born here, comes here twice per year, has a property here, there will be mass protest initiated by me, because this is a right. Your right to vote, your right to register, and your right to vote.
Yeah.
That's key.
Let's take a quick call here. We have someone on the phone line holding for quite a bit. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, you live. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, New York. Right ahead. Yes.
Listening to your conversation and your discussion.
Yes.
And it's interesting. Some people that have gone to, some people call it big school, to university to get a certification of a doctorate or a master's or a bachelor's. But there's something very basic that can guide people. You don't even need a lawyer for that. A semicolon. What is a semicolon? It's a punctuation mark that connects two closely related independent clauses.
Right.
So right there in the law, it says A is a citizen of Grenada. That's a complete sentence. So is somebody who is biased or incompetent as the supervisor of election, in my opinion, he's incompetent. Get rid of him. You can't have these people running things in Grenada. We have too much of those things happening. Because it's quite clear. A semicolon tells you one thing, the person is a citizen. You say you have to be there for 6 months, 6 years, or 2 days.
Right.
You're a citizen. That should be clear. So if you have somebody who is the supervisor of election talking this tata copa, in my opinion, he's incompetent and he needs to go. Grenadians have to call for him to go. It's simple. You can't sit there and have incompetent people running things. We'll be getting tata and shit every day of our lives. Because that's basic. Either he didn't go to the school to teach him about a period and a semicolon. They teach about those things in primary school. That's all I have to say. But on the question of that lady, it's more than just going with her to get registered. You have to find the person in charge and make sure that the documents that she submits is accurate and there is no question, so that there can be no objections later on from people inside who is supposed to do the registration. If people outside want to make an objection, it's a different story. Because that problem we're talking about has been occurring for more than 6 months. I have personal experience with a family member, and I have to guide them. Imagine somebody who is not Grenadian by birth, got their certificate of citizenship, was able to register, and the person who is Grenadian by birth, they're telling them a set of tata. And I had to tell them go work and get it corrected. That's been happening more than 6 months ago. So bless this.
Okay. Thank you, caller. I appreciate your input. So what we're seeing here, Kim, what we saw is that a lot of Grenadians who reside in the U.S. have been disenfranchised. Their birthright have been taken away from them. The right to vote, which is their birthright, have been taken away from them because well, what we see here, and after I spoke to a few intellect in the law as well, as a clear indication that once you're a Grenadian citizen, that take precedence over a Commonwealth citizen. So a lot of people are sitting there right now and believe that because they travel and they're in the United States, they may not be able to participate in the electoral process. What is the next step in convincing?
They need to be reassured. they need to be reassured. And thank God for your platform. While we heard yesterday the supervisor of election saying certain things, making certain statements, it caused a lot of uneasiness and discomfort among great many people, or Grenadian brothers and sisters here at home and also in the diaspora. But most Grenadians, and you don't have to be a genius, most Grenadians reading the law concluded what we are concluding, and what nearly everybody, when they read the thing, say that's what it is. But in isolation is Otope and maybe a few others, because mind you, it's a similar position echoed by NNP. Let us not fool ourselves. It's a similar position echoed by NNP. And I was saying to a friend today, I remember many years ago when Joan Webley came to Grenada, I was a part of the NNP at that time, senior guy there, young, but, upfront and that kind of thing. And I remember she brought a number of the key figures in a room, and she said, she used words to the effect, I study your law, and your law has a lot of loopholes in it. And if you really want to win an election, you can mobilize and organize your supporters in the diaspora to get registered. And once they're coming in and out of Grenada, and they have a residence, or they live here, they have a property, or they in that constituency, they have a right to vote just like any other person, because all Grenadians are equal as citizens. You're not more citizen than me here in Grenada because, let's say you live in Grenada, so you're not more citizen than another person who lives in the diaspora. We all are equal. And when she said so, I remember around that period, a lot of plane loads of people were coming in because they were able to maximize and capitalize on that, right? So why now? Why are you so afraid now? Because our brothers and sisters are registering in record numbers. They want to see what is happening now continue in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. The NDC is not perfect, no. But one thing Grenadians have is hope. One thing Grenadians have is hope that tomorrow going to be better. Next week going to be better. Next month going to be better. Next year going to be better. The next 5 years from now going to be better, because we have a visionary leader. We have a competent team of men and women who are working every day to bring betterment for our people, to transform the lives of our people. And I love how the most honorable Deacon Mitchell put it. He said, we are a people-centered government. We're about people's growth and development and transformation. And we can look at so many examples of it. He gave some examples, right? But it is clear. And Grenadians have hope. Grenadians can trust this team. People are seeing the communities being transformed in a real way. People are seeing families being transformed in a real way. And that's the direction we are going. We are moving forward.
Yeah. Let's talk about this, because, again, we have you saying that the opposition leader and other people have the same position as interpreted by the supervisor of election yesterday. If the law was so perfectly written, why is it left up to so much different interpretation if it's supposed to be so clear and fluid?
They're too malive. The NNP too malive. You hear me? They're too malive. They cannot want, when they're in power and when the diaspora was on their side, to love the law, embrace it. And because they're out now with an unpopular leader, a leader who is not even embraced by the simplest of people, she's not even been talked about. In the diaspora, everything that they do in the diaspora, they bust. Every single thing. In fact, Jukutu Kem Jones and Jukutu Ion Thomas and the good partner, the Honorable Ron Redhead, went to New York, and Junior, you were there. And the amount of people, you see the NNP in some backyard with Peggy Nesville. The good parties are, what's wrong with Peggy? And they're fighting up to get 50 people. Everything they did, they had some kind of event again. Everything busting. It says a lot, and everywhere they go, not just in New York, not just in Miami, not just in England, not just in Kent, everywhere. So they're scared. The diaspora has moved totally against NNP. They don't want to see NNP because I said to people some years ago, you can't fool these people. Junior, you know what good roads look like. Junior, you know what good education looks like. Junior, you know what good healthcare looks like. You know what investing in agriculture looks like. Investing in youth and seeing progress and seeing development. You're in a first world country. They can't fool you. You have, when Blackberries were being dumped here, you had iPhone, what, 9, 10? You had smartphone long before the people on here with Blackberry trying to upgrade and up right now, you know. In other words, the people of the diaspora, they have access, they're tech savvy, they understand this thing. So NNP been there for so long, 23 years and a half. Look, do you know that they're just trying to widen Grandetang Road? NDC trying to do it. Do you know that Montrouge playing field, NDC just put in a bathroom and toilet facility there? Do you know that Fantasia Beach just getting light in the night? I mean, these things should have been had, or this thing should have happened long, long before. But the NNP, they were just a bunch of people who did the same thing over and over, expecting some different results. So Grenadians are now able to see certain things and say, but wait, why they didn't do that, boy? Why these young team of people in 3 years have to come and do it? Simple. Look at some of the playing fields. Junior, you're in Grenada now, right? And I know you would be on Grandlands Beach on Saturday because there's a big launch of the jet ski business, which is great. And mind you, under the NNP, they caused this thing to scrap. You know, you go to all islands in the region and you see jet skis and so on. Anyways, I am saying, brother, you are in Grenada. If you travel to Tempe playing field in the night, tonight, if you go to the Limes playing field, you will see cricket playing there. There's a competition taking place there, starting on Sunday. If you go to Montu, you're going to see people there. If you go to Boucheju, in Keith Mitchell backyard, well, you're no longer there in terms of, you know, living and that kind of thing. But you would see football and cricket playing, right? If you go to certain communities in St. John and St. Mark and St. Patrick, you would see life again in the communities. That didn't used to exist before. But when you light community, you light playing fields, you renovate, refurbish community centers, you upgrade the playing fields, and you fix it up proper for our people, and you invest in our community, that is what you want to get. But under the NNP, communities were dead. Life gone. And we have to face it. This team invested significantly in our people within the communities. And we will see, I went to 2 communities in recent times. I don't want to take all the talk, 2 communities. And I saw young people in the community center. And there was this young lady in one of them teaching them, kind of lesson, doing lessons, going through work and so on. And I say, but wait, I wonder if the CPE is back on track again. I thought so, to believe me. Because and a lot of young people inside there, being taught, they studying, they learning something. And then I went to another one where I saw a lot of young men. I don't know what they had there, but they were engaged. That is what you want. That is exactly what you want in a country where people can utilize their energy in a very positive way.
Right. Well, we got a caller on the line. Let's take this call and we'll get Ian Jangos Thomas' response on that. Caller, you're live. Where are you calling us from?
Oh, good afternoon. Junior, I'm calling from New York.
Yes.
And I just happened to listen to your program. So I just want to clearly understand. Are you saying as a Grenadian that living in abroad, like America, that have property in Grenada, still carry a Grenada passport, although I have lived here for New York for the past 20, 30 years. I have property in Grenada, carry a Grenada passport, was born in St. Andrews. I could register to vote.
Yes.
I just want to make it so clear.
Yes, you can, yes.
Totally.
Right. Because as far as the law is quoted here, you are a Grenadian citizen. No. One other thing that we need to make light of, Kim, if she was previously registered and she was out of the the jurisdiction for 5 years, her name could be removed from the list.
Yes, that's true.
She's still registered.
Right.
But you could still go and
renew.
Still go and re-register.
Yes.
Yes, because as you know, Grenadians are allowed to have dual citizenship, which I have dual citizenship. So no matter how long I stay out of New York, I could come back in the morning once we have an election and vote in an election.
Well, you first have to be registered. Hold on. Before
once you register,
yeah.
I could stay in Grenada for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and come back to vote in America. So I just want to make sure that the same thing apply. And if the same thing apply, hooray, hurrah, I'll be doing that. Because I really applaud the government in power now. They are doing a fantastic job. And I think we should spread the news because a lot of people in this part of the world will like to see the progress continue. So I think if that's something that we could do, I think more Grenadians will.
Yeah, and again, based on the law, we have it on the screen right now. It says that subject to Section 7, a person shall be entitled to be registered as an elector in any one constituency if he is a citizen of Grenada, right? If he is a citizen of Grenada, that's the interpretation of the law there. But Kem, you know, if you don't say the R, you know, it changes the whole thing.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
But an English teacher will still tell you with the colon, semicolon.
Yeah.
That it actually speaks to two things. But still, it's clear. The law is unambiguous. It's explicit. It's very, very clear. And look, Junior, you see what this caller said there? You in New York, you're in Queens, you're on the ground. But when I go to space or places, I listen. Yes, I talk a damn lot, but I listen too. And people in the diaspora and here in Grenada, they know that the NDC is not perfect. They know that there's a lot more to be done. But they are appreciative of the fact that the NDC is doing a fantastic job. And within the time frame that they had, they did a good job and people love the progress that they have seen so far. If you go and you speak to ordinary, simple people, they will tell you straight up, they love to see what is happening in Grenada. And it reminds them of Abraham Traore in Burkina Faso, right? The country of Thomas Sankara. And they see, in other words, sometimes you just need newness, freshness, a visionary leader and a team to move the country forward with the little resources that we have. So people are impressed. People are happy. You know, before time, it used to be a canal. Every time you hear about some melee and Keith Mitchell and some kind of organization or some kind of TB, some kind of, Keith Mitchell used to act like a fushat, You know what's a fushat, Junior? A fushat is a woman who goes down by the river just to beat TB and beat Combos, beat melee and make confusion. She goes down there with a whole bucket of clothes, but she can't wash it. It's only melee, only bacchanal. And she fighting for this stone and she fighting for that stone and where to wash, where to beat the clothes. That's how Keith Mitchell used to function like that, like a whole fushat. But people have gotten rid of that. We are in a new dispensation, a new epoch, a new dawn came to us 3 years ago. And God sent, let me make it clear, God sent the most honorable Deacon Mitchell and his team to transform this place. To make this place better for not just me and you and, we kind of bending already, but for our children and children. We want good for our children and children. And all down the line. We want it better for them. And look, we are thankful.
Yeah, Ian, I want you to let's clear this up. When you hear this, when you read this, are you as clear as Kem on this, or are there still areas of it that you don't quite get too well, that you need? Because I want to bring back Mr. Pierre back on the program. That might happen tomorrow. Hopefully, most likely that may happen tomorrow, because he may want to, say a few things. I spoke to him earlier today. Are you clear on this?
abundantly clear. Junior, we have to try to find if there would be a reason why the authors of this document would deliberately leave out a natural Grenadian. Why would they ask you to be a born Grenadian, a citizen of Grenada, and have to be here 12 months prior to participate in an election? The authors wouldn't even use that type of logic. They would see you as a Grenadian and you will participate in any national event that Grenada has. And an election is a national event. So it's just basic, it's nothing to interpret. It's just simple logic. This event called elections are for the people of Grenada. And by extension, Grenadians in the Commonwealth, because we have that relationship with the Commonwealth. It's simple logic. It's nothing that is difficult to interpret. It shouldn't even be up for a discussion now. We should be so clear on that.
Right.
From the time we got independence, we shouldn't be having that discussion in 2025. It's crystal clear to me that it was written in such a way that it means every Grenadian that is above the age of 18 and is on the voters list can participate in an election.
All right.
Nothing to interpret it.
Let's go to the phone line. We got a caller on the line. Caller, you're live. Where are you calling us from?
Hi, Junior.
Hi, how are you, caller? You live on Ridealong.
Okay, it's Nila Holder calling.
Hi, yes.
And I'm calling concerning the same law.
Right.
I studied paralegal, and I was taught how to read the sections of the law.
Right.
That's why yesterday when I heard the Mr. left out the R, I wrote that this doesn't sound right.
Right.
Right? And Kem would know. I came in 2021, right? After my when I wanted to help with the election business. I came down and I'm from Victoria, but I was in Canada for the longest while, 30-something years. And when I came, my last time of voting was in 2003.
Right.
I used to vote in Victoria. But when I came in 2003, after reading the law, I went and I know that I was deleted from the list because I didn't vote 2008 and 2013 and 2018. But what I did, I was living in Woburn, and I got my birth paper. I went to register in Woburn, and that's where I vote.
Right.
I had no problem. So that is how it is. I was deleted because I didn't come for the consecutive years after 2003. So, but I re-registered in Woburn, and I didn't have a problem because I read through the law.
Right.
And I know how to dissect. I know I'm a Grenadian first.
Right.
And then the R, then what comes after follow. So I knew he was making a mistake when he left out the R in the first time.
Okay. So are you clear on the language, being someone who is frequent?
Yeah, because I studied paralegal up here.
Okay.
So I was taught to read laws.
Okay. All right. Thank you, caller, for your observation on this here. Let's go back. Let's go to the WhatsApp. We have a call on the WhatsApp, which means that Kem, you would hear them. They won't hear you. Caller, you're live.
Good night.
Hey, good night, caller.
Be very brief.
No problem.
What is shocking? Atapia was an educator. He used to teach in South St. George Government School. That's the primary school in Springs. And if Atapia is given a responsibility that he's not aware of, then he should seek clarity, because he really and truly confusing people And he's seen as one that's working for the opposition. Okay? Because if the people in the diaspora, as can conform, as I said even a few years ago, Kit lost the diaspora. And these people coming back to register and creating that problem is either one, he doesn't understand his responsibility, or two, he's political.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, tomorrow, as I said, we're trying to get Arthur back on the program because he did state that there were or maybe some correction that he needed to make. So you got to stay tuned tomorrow for that.
And Junior, based on what the caller said a while ago, I don't think, to be fair to him, I don't think he's political.
Now, I don't personally, I don't feel that he's political either.
I think he doesn't understand, but he believes that he understands the thing, and he stepped over the line. He made some errors when he was delivering, and it scared the hell out of a lot of people. And we have to continue to encourage our people to get registered, because we are not talking about people who don't live here completely. There are people who went to the United States or went to Canada or went to the United Kingdom or, outside of Grenada for a better life, not just for them, but for their children and children, right? To be able to build a house, to buy a piece of land, to buy a car, to have some savings, to have a better, healthcare package and that kind of thing. They visit Grenada sometimes 3 times, 4 times per year. You can't disenfranchise them. You can't say to them that they cannot participate in the development of our country or in the civics of our country. No. And I think that's the whole issue here. Grenadians who live here have equal rights, just as the people who live in the diaspora. We are not different citizens. I am not more than the person who lives in the United States or in Canada who's a born Grenadian. We are all equals. And why should the NNP, for example, be afraid of Grenadians registering? You should be happy about that. And let them vote, let them participate. What's wrong with that? You're afraid now?
Right. Someone asked me a question here. I know the answer. I gave them the answer to it, but I'll just ventilate it here. The person said, Junior, how are children whose parents is Grenadian treated? Are they citizens also?
No. Well, Junior, you remember, if, for example, a gentleman came to me today, if your father or your mother is Grenadian,
right?
Do you know that you're entitled to get a Grenadian passport?
Passport, yes.
In other words, and that Grenadian passport can get you to register and vote in Grenada?
Yes.
It's valid. Once it's valid.
A valid Grenadian passport.
Yeah.
So a gentleman came to me today and he said to me, hey, Kem, my mother is Grenadian, my father is Grenadian. I had a Grenadian passport before, but for some strange reason, I'm getting some difficulties now. And, he has a Grenadian driver's license and other things like that. And then I said to him, okay, well, let's get the 3 birth certificates. Your father's birth certificate, your mother's birth certificate, and your birth certificate. And let's take it from there, right? He already paid for his passport and so on. But it's just that there might be some inconsistency, something like that. But he's a Grenadian by parentage. So to the caller, the person who sent you the message, once you're a Grenadian, but don't expect that that person who is the daughter or son of that Grenadian who has children can actually get the Grenadian passport and become citizens here.
Right.
No, it's only first generation.
First generation. Yeah. We've got another caller on the line. Let's take this next call right now. Caller, you're live. Where are you calling us from?
Calling from Philly.
Philly, go right ahead.
Yeah. What I take notice of last night, this dude was talking about having the immigration get involved. That shit is scary. Because I remember when you asked him a question, and he said, to the extent of getting the immigration get involved in order to know how long people remain out of the country. So you need to have him back in order to talk about that again.
Okay. Yeah. Again, I spoke to Arthur Pierre earlier today. We was trying to get him back on today, but he had other obligations. So he did indicated to me that tomorrow would be a better day. So we're going to follow up and see if he'll come back on tomorrow. All right. So we'll ask that question tomorrow.
Junior,
Yeah, this
that caller,
immigration thing is this is crazy.
Junior, that caller is correct. Today I was speaking to a lawyer. 2 or 3 lawyers called me today. And you see that point that the caller raised?
Yeah.
That is illegal. You can't. You could be electoral office or not. You cannot, without the permission of the person through immigration, go and dig up their files or their detail. It just can't happen. It's illegal.
Really?
You'll be breaching the person's right to confidentiality and the information. In fact, on the paper, it's confidential. You can't go and do these things. It's wrong. So, I mean, the guy was just speaking loosely. So rest assured, caller, this is illegal. It can't happen. That is why you have a registration officer who ought to go out there and investigate and get the information out there. They can't use an arm of the state to dig up people's confidential information. In fact, there was once someone got divorced, right? And somebody endeavored to seek to find out the name on their passport and the name on this and that. And that was breach of the person's privacy. That has nothing to do with anybody. So no electoral office could go and ask immigration and get information there. And if you commit a crime in the state of Grenada, then immigration is law enforcement. They can do what they have to do. But don't tell me that some supervisor of election or some electoral office won't get information and go and dig up people. You're mad? Where you seeing that?
Right. We have another caller on the line here. That's going to be our final call before we go in final comments. Caller, you live? Where are you calling us from? Hello? Hello? Caller, are you there? All right. We lost that caller. All right. In summary, Kim, let's summarize. Let's put it all together in regards to this. Okay, I'm getting a call, but it has nothing to do with the program. I know the name. So let's sum it up, Kim.
Maybe someone is calling you for a ticket for the experience.
Or maybe, quite possibly.
Yes.
Yeah, I see that. I see that, quite possibly. Oh, before we get your final comments, Kim and Ian, I want to invite you guys because this Saturday we have a grand launch of the jet ski back on Grand Anse Beach. Right? You know, for 20 something plus years, this was non-existent in Grenada. And sometimes I go to places like Bahamas, I go to Barbados and all these countries, man.
Yeah.
Lucia. And I'm on jet ski, Antigua, right?
Yeah.
So like, is it that Grenada alone or Grenadians, so like they are so dumb that they're the only one that will have accidents on jet ski? I never understood it. So I want to big up AJ Water Sports. They are the ones who will be putting this thing together. I am assisting and promoting and giving all my assistance to let the world know jet ski is back. So I'm inviting you guys. Probably we'll take us some picture on a jet ski, Kim and Django.
Yeah, in fact, Ashton, he did reach out to me.
Yes.
Inviting me to be a part of this. So,
absolutely.
A good friend of mine is a colleague who from day one told me about his intentions, and I endorse it totally.
Absolutely, absolutely. So jet ski back on Grand Anse Beach. So guys, if you want to come on down this coming Saturday, we have free rides. Of course, we're gonna have all our beach bikes gonna be there too, Kim. So we have free beach bikes. We have all the tuk-tuks there. We come in with full support.
That's good.
Yeah, man. We're taking people back and forth, and it's gonna be a real nice vibe. So this Saturday, Grand Anse Beach. Make it a date. Come in and some refreshment. It's gonna be a nice vibe. We want to see you guys there. Also, I must say again that, folks, we have officially launched the Amazing the Experience. That's from Monday Night Mass. We're doing it differently because this time we're going to be on the boat. We're going to be on the water, right? Ecstasy is a massive boat. Ecstasy is a lovely boat. So while everybody coming down, and we're not taking away from the parade is going to be grand. We are going to be coming down on a boat. And Kev, we're going one step further, you know. We're putting a big screen. We're endeavoring to put a big screen right by Tropicana Day, so people could glimpse and see what we're doing on the boat. So a live feed straight.
London
Straight back. So it's real vibes. It's real vibes. And we have a section. I put this up this weekend there, and everybody like, what is that about? We have a section called Naked, right? Now it's body paint. It's full body paint. It is exotic. It is sexy. Only about 10 people will be in that section, Kim. But that section is the VVVVIP. We have that particular section. The person that will be involved in that section, they will be having personal assistant, right? That is the next level of VIP, Kim. You have a personal assistant with you at every turn. If you want to get some water, the personal assistant, go and get it. It's like a personal butler, right? You want to get some juice, he go and get it for you. You want to take a selfie, he take it for you. And he make sure anybody coming on, anybody that don't have to be in the circle, they end there around you. So that particular section, we only have 10 in that section. We ain't even put it out yet because it's so much demand for that section. We say, oh, we got to hold it back still. So it's going to be really crazy. This is called Naked, full body paint, real sexy section. So ladies, start doing all your push-ups and thing and get all yourself set up. We even have VIP for the men. So it can be real vibe on the boat. It can be real vibe on the boat, Kim. I know you're going to play yourself. You're going to do that dance. Right? Folks are asking, how do they get their packages? Well, let me tell you something. If you have not yet gotten your packages yet, you are really sticking, because you could get your packages right now at ride.gd. That's ryde.gd. And while Kim and Django is here, I want to show you guys how easy it is to take advantage of this and get your package. So you go to ride.gd. Let me see if I can put it up here. Ride.gd, where is it? Right there. Boom. Full screen. Ride.gd. And you scroll down. You could even click on right here where it says buy a package. So you click on the buy the package right on the front of the website, and you scroll down. You can make your purchase quick and easy right here. If you want to play, if in the men VIP section, we have the front line for the female. We have the bodysuit. You just click on it. You get more information, and as easy as 1, 2, 3, you book your package on the boat. It's very easy. We make it easy for you. So take advantage of this, guys. It's a new concept on the boat. Kim, we want to see you and Django there. Special invite for
I
you.
will be there.
Most definitely, man.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Yeah.
So how much, Kim, how much tuk do I send for you this time? I know last time we sent about 4 SUVs for you. How much tuk you send for you? Kim like to ride out to a fleet, eh? Kim like to ride by himself, eh? Kim, I sending 3 SUVs for you. He said, send 4.
But Junior, I want to applaud you. You have been an innovator. You have been a starter for so many things here. You take the risk. You go through the tough moments, the challenges, but still you ride the tide, and you ebb away. You get to that place where you start something. You are that type of innovator, that type of starter, and I want to commend you. You have been very successful with whatever you are involved in, and it speaks to your resolve. It speaks to your dedication, your commitment to Grenada, your patriotism. I want to applaud you for that, and I want to encourage you to press on. Right, everybody on that journey will not be on your side or cheering you on or encouraging you or investing with you, but my brother, keep pressing on. All right, what is important is keep moving.
Absolutely.
And what you got to do, I really want to applaud you.
Thank
you
you.
have really, in the last many years, done a tremendous job in investing, creating jobs and opportunities for our people.
Yeah, man. Thank you. And we just started, guys. So again, my brother, thank you so much, Kim and Django. Django, any last word before we wrap up the segment and roll out of here, man?
Well, I want to speak directly to the individuals that felt disenfranchised by the gentleman's statements yesterday. be rest assured, you in the diaspora as a Grenadian can be registered and you can participate in our elections. So let us make that happen, and let's maintain the National Democratic Congress as we continue to transform, we continue to build, we continue to make Grenada a better place. Also, too, continue to invest in our country, Junior. We love it.
Thank you, man.
New ideas, creative ideas, things we haven't seen before. It's a good look for our tourism product, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Thank you so much. My brothers, keep in touch, all right? Kim comes up at top of the hour at 8 o'clock. You could join him over on his page. Kim, get on the food page, and I want them to go and follow the thing.
Yes, well, they can listen to me on Vibes 101.3 FM or 106.3 FM, and that's both on radio, in their vehicles, in their homes, or online. They can visit me also or listen to the program, view the program on YouTube, our channel, Vision Information Services, or Facebook, Grenada Transformation Agenda, or any of the people who share the program from time to time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Thank you, guys. We keep in touch, all right? Kim comes up at the top of the hour.
Nice.
Guys, Ridealong Live. Listen, I got to say thank you, guys, for being on this journey with us, for everything that we attempt to do. It's because of you, and it's because of people that continue to support us that we are able to forge this muddy water. Sometimes the road is bumpy, guys. And as Kim said, because he understands, he knows business. It gets very, very bumpy. You know, like sometimes you're going up to Carriacou and you reach by Kick and Jimmy there, and then the boat start to go so. Yeah, you know, it getting bumpy. But you know what happens? After you pass all that bumpy patch at times, you know, like in just about 2 more minutes, you're gonna meet nice calm waters, right? Oftentimes during that bump and that turbulence is when a lot of people quit. When a lot of people throw in the towel. Let me tell you something. I've been tested really, really, really hard. Just envisioning doing business here in Grenada. It is. I'm still in the process. One of the most difficult things that I've done in my whole life. I built studios. I've built businesses all over the place. But this is proven to be one of the most challenging things that I've ever done. And if I ain't give up, and let me tell you, sometimes I sit in the dark and I say, Lord, have mercy. How am I going to figure this one out? And miraculously, I get up in the morning and I found a solution. One thing is clear, and I want to echo the sentiments and leave on the sentiments. You should never give up. When the turbulence starts to hit and the road starts to get bumpy and the water starts to get muddy and people are trying to stop you, had obstacles put in my way all week last week. Even today I'm fighting some turbulence, let's put it like that. I've remained at least calm and able to navigate the bumpy waters. With people in our corner, like Lois JJ, our producer, she works really hard to ensure that things stay in place, that we could give you an award-winning program every single day. And as much as I'm out, and I'm doing tours these days, guys, you might see me riding the tuk-tuk all over St. George, and I'm meeting people and friends, but I enjoy nothing more than being here with you guys. And I thank you guys for that. As I said earlier, that this Saturday we're inviting everyone to come on down to this launch of the jet ski this Saturday. That's at Granans Beach, Granans Beach. That's right by the vendors market. And big up to my brother Ashton Phillip and the folks at AJ Water Sport on the jet ski launch. And you could ride the jet ski for free on that day. So free rides. We have the water bikes as well. You could paddle on the water bikes. We'll have the tuk-tuks there. We'll have the e-bikes there. Everything is going to be there. The media is going to be there. A good opportunity to meet and ask questions. I know there are some safety concerns, people that have safety questions that we already address. And we want to ensure that people understand that any business or any venture that you see I align myself with is because it is compliant with everything that I stand for. Progressive, and that's why I like this move. That's why I partner with the gentleman. That's why I talk about him highly, Mr. Ashton Phillip, right? And it's going to be a nice event. Also, we're going to be doing bubble tube, the speed tube. That's going to be there as well. Just a lot of things happening on Saturday, Grand Anse Beach. Make your way down there for that. All right? Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program. Don't forget today, right now, guys, I want you guys to go to the website at ride.gd and book and purchase a package. If everybody that watched this live today go and purchase a package, we sold out by tomorrow. We have a few more, but we don't want this to linger. We want this to be done with, promoted and done. Do it with speed, right? Get a group, because if you have a group, you could come to us with a group. You get even more discounts if you come as a group. We have regular package, VIP package, VVIP package, and a package called Naked. This super VIP, where you have your own butler. Imagine your own butler on the boat. Own personal assistants. Wow. It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. It is simply amazing. The website, Geneva. How you doing, my sister? Geneva's Cottage. You got to check out Geneva's Cottage if you're looking for a place to stay while you're in Grenada. You go to Airbnb and look for Geneva's Cottage, and you're going to find this beautiful place. I stay there all the time. It's the bomb. It's the bomb diggy. Check it out on Airbnb. All right? Yes, and yes. Catch you guys again tomorrow, where we will endeavor to have back with us Mr. Arthur Pierre. We'll have another conversation. Peace out. Thank you for watching, guys. Tomorrow would be another day. Tomorrow is another day. Get your packages tonight, guys. Get your packages tonight. Don't stick. Get it tonight. Go to ride.gd. That's ride.gd. And get your package right now. Good night.
Feel the beat, feel the vibe. Amazing host leading the ride. Power to the people, we shine. Giving fans what they need. Caribbean spirit, let's succeed. Every show with a good deed. Together we plant the seed. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island strong, with the host we belong. Energy high, heart so bright. Tune in, feel the light. Global love taking flight. Every ride a sheer delight. Making waves across the seas. Love and joy in the breeze. Ride along live if you please. Bringing hope with such ease. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island strong, with the host we belong. Energy high, heart so bright. Tune in, feel the light. Global love taking flight. Every ride a sheer delight. Making waves across the seas. Love and joy in the breeze. Ride along live if you please. Bringing hope with such ease. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island strong, with the host we belong.
Don't forget, if you're looking to book your flight to Grenada, gotta check out JetBlue. Yeah, jetblue.com. Check it out online at www.jetblue.com.